one of the things that I love about Running Start is that it allows me to continue in this work of uplifting others. I've had a very unconventional upbringing. I was born in Ohio, but I spent a lot of my formative years in Atlanta. And when I was 10, I moved to Nairobi, Kenya, where I lived for about 5 years. I moved back just before my sophomore year of high school. And it was a transformative experience, but it was an incredibly difficult one. I would spend during the school year, I would be in Nairobi. And it was a very different cultural environment in terms of the ways in which I got to move through society. I've written about this actually a few different times just because it's something that I think about almost every single day. But in terms of how I was viewed in Kenya, I was viewed as a woman first, American second, and Black third. And it allowed me to grow up in a world without the same stereotypes that some of my peers and friends back in the States have experienced. In having conversations with them, because I would come back to the States every summer and every winter because we have to see all of our relatives, to see our doctors, just to connect back with friends and family. And it was very interesting because you would experience the shift almost immediately on those trips. And it was incredibly difficult for a 10-year-old to wrap her head around, especially as I grew up. But one of the things that really helped me through it was to remain open to all of the experiences, no matter how difficult they were. The transitions back after winter break, after summer break, were always very stark and very harsh. You would go from having limited freedoms walking around stateside to having all of this freedom and how you were perceived walking around in Nairobi. And I think one of the things that really helped me both process that and also grow to appreciate my time in both places was an openness to the conversations that I was having with people around me, and openness to the experience, and openness to learning even when it was uncomfortable. And so even though I didn't have some of the experiences that my Black friends and my Black peers did, having experienced middle school and growing up in formative years here in the United States, I got to hear about them and I got to learn, and it got to inform how I approached the world. And while I was living in Kenya, it's like I went to an international school. I had friends who came from multiple different cultures, who came from multiple different backgrounds. And even though those transitions were very hard for me, because I couldn't relate with my friends back home in a one-to-one way. I couldn't relate with my friends in Kenya in a one-to-one way. But I got to grow as a person in such a multifaceted, multicultural way that was only possible because I didn't allow these different norms and these different areas to put me into a box, because I remained open to anything and everything. And it's something that I still carry to this day. I mean, I believe that by being open with any experience that comes your way, any opportunity, it might not be a one-to-one match with what you were looking for or what you expected your life to look like. I mean, I am a recent graduate of undergrad. I graduated in May 2025, and I did not have a job after graduation. And that was an incredibly stressful moment for me. And then this opportunity fell in my lap to join Running Start because I was open to an opportunity to speak unprompted in front of CEOs and high-level leaders of these organizations. It was the most intimidating experience I've ever had. I was not prepared. I was actually told that I would not be speaking that day. And then I was invited to come speak, and it opened a door for me. And that was only possible because of those lessons that I learned in childhood, to remain open to whatever experience may present itself, even if it's not exactly what you envisioned.